Welcome back to the Tierney Edtech Podcast, Episode 8. Soon to be called the TROX+TIERNEY Edtech Podcast. So big news before we talk about today's technology. We are going to talk about interactive spaces technology. At least that's the name you and I coined it. These are technologies that get students active, interacting, almost in in either a wall or a floor setting. Ryan, do you want to just talk about, maybe explain a little bit more to the best you can? We'll provide some links in the description, as we always do, just to talk about what exactly this technology is. It's going to be a little tougher in a podcast format to paint that picture for people. But then, if you can, just talk about why this is important. Why are schools interested in this right now?
Perfect. Well, what I will say is we're seeing a renewal of significant interest in these interactive spaces. There were many schools that invested in these types of technologies pre-COVID, pre-pandemic, but there were a lot of schools that were in the middle of securing funding or whatever it might be for a couple of the solutions that we're going to share today. But obviously, the priority for in-class technology or in-building technology it waned as many students were learning remotely or hybrid in a hybrid fashion. So, but we are seeing every single day more and more opportunities. Schools communicating with us saying, "Hey, we really want to re-engage the conversation around these interactive spaces."
Excellent. So. Basically, just to get a base level understanding, these are projection systems that project on either a wall or the floor. We're going to talk about two different technologies, two different solutions in this episode, but this is a projection system integrated with lighting, sound, and students or kids interact with what's projected on the screen, essentially, either by walking over it or by throwing balls against the wall to complete games and trivia, and it can cover all different kinds of curriculum, essentially. Do you think that's a fair picture? Did I miss anything?
No, that's high level. That makes sense. It's just creating different ways for students to learn through movement as well.
Yep. There you go. That's a good, said it better than I could. So again, if this is still foggy, just take a look at the links in the description, and there's some videos that will bring it all together. So let's start with ActiveFloor. What can you tell people about, maybe provide a brief overview of ActiveFloor and just talk about how it's different, maybe how it differentiates a little bit, different use cases?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So ActiveFloor, if you look at the name, it really tells you what it is. It's a floor-based interactive solution that students use their feet to interact with the content. So it's also a learn by being active solution. With ActiveFloor, it's not necessarily focused on a larger space like a gym or a community area. It could be. We're seeing this in even media centers or specific classrooms. ActiveFloor, the applications within ActiveFloor are 100% customizable, which is awesome. So what that means is when an organization invests in an ActiveFloor, they actually get a cloud-based portal that teachers can use to create the experiences through templates. So basically, if you know how to type, if you know how to copy and paste an image or audio, you can create really dynamic ActiveFloor lessons using the templates that are already there. They also have thousands of current lessons by other teachers around the world using ActiveFloor. So they have a community of teachers that are constantly sharing. Another thing too, which I think is one of the coolest parts of this, is I know a lot of our schools and organizations are, they have either foreign language component, or they have students where English is their second language, refugees, first generation Americans, etc. That was the classroom or the building I taught in. That was very similar for me. You can actually translate any lesson or activity that's in the ActiveFloor teacher portal to another language. So it is a way to accommodate for students that need that accommodation, or it can be used as a way, in a foreign language environment where students are actually learning a different language, but participating in an academic interactive experience at the same time. So there's, again, with ActiveFloor, you have the hardware. The hardware usually sits in the ceiling or flush with the ceiling. So you have the 3D interactive camera, you have the computer, you have lighting and sound, you have the projector, and then it's projecting on the floor, and that floor becomes that interactive space.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Ryan. That's, I think, going to do it for this episode. Two really cool solutions for active learning and those interactive spaces. Stay tuned, everybody. Next episode, we're going to talk about interactive flat panels, so front of classroom technology. And Ryan, thank you again for joining. For those of you who are listening, we look forward to talking with you again soon.